What's up, guys? David Williams here. Just arrived over at Smith Lake for the Central Open, but I also just finished up last week. I finished up on Norman at the Southern Open, our final event of the year in that division, and I finished 4th over there and won Angler of the Year in that division, and I qualified to go back to the Elite Series if I choose to do so. But I just thought I'd give you a quick little recap of how I did it that week, last week. And but I'd say the biggest player for me was my Lowrance active target, and the fish were really keyed in on on bait fish last week at Lake Norman, and I could get on some areas and pan around, and I could see exactly where to throw to. But I would start out every day on some schooling fish, and I was throwing like walking style baits. That's just a head and one knocker spook. I threw that a lot. Caught a few fish on that every day. I threw 3 or 4 different walker baits. I threw a Realis pencil 110. I threw a evergreen shower blow. I threw I threw 3 or 4 different ones. But anyway, caught several fish like that every day. And then as the morning progressed, I would go back into creeks more and try to get into creeks where I found some bait fish at. And I threw a crankbait around a lot. I would pan around with my my Lowrance active target, and I could see them sitting out in the middle of the creek channels, probably 6 to 12 foot of water. And when I would see them sitting out there under the bait, I could throw in that direction. And I was throwing this Duo Realis. That is a 11A, M65 11A, just a shad pattern. It probably runs 8 to 10 foot. Throwing it on 12-pound test, high seas fluorocarbon, and 7 foot Cashin crankbait rod. It's a medium heavy rod. But I caught my biggest fish actually the first 2 days on the crankbait. So that was a big player to get me to the 3rd day. The top water, I didn't tell you, by the way, I was throwing it on 15-pound high seas monofilament. That's an 8437 Cashin rod. That's a medium heavy 7 foot. And then after I would try the crankbait for a while, a lot of times later in the day when the sun got out more, the fish started pulling up under some docks and on some brush piles and stuff like that. And I would start targeting them more of a vertical presentation with a jig. I was throwing a 1/2 ounce queen tackle jig. That's a green pumpkin green, just a Zoom Z Crawl Junior trailer. Threw that on 20-pound high seas fluorocarbon, 7 foot heavy action. That's their worming jig. That's the Icon worming jig rod, Johnny Moore Signature Series reel. But I caught a couple fish like that every day. I didn't catch a lot of fish doing anything, to be honest with you. I caught like maybe 6 keepers a day, 7 at the most on, I think, the last day. But I did catch 2 4-pounders the last day to give me like 12 pounds. So had a really good week at Lake Norman, really good year in the Opens, and hopefully I can continue that here in the Southern Open, or in the Central Opens, at Smith Lake this week, and see if we can't make it to the Classic. Y'all take care.